Hello, Moto.
In today's video, we're going to take a look at the new Motorola Edge 2021 version, and this has 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, 108 megapixel camera. No, seriously, 108 megapixels. I believe it only comes in one color, Nebula Blue. This is the unlocked version. So you're gonna be able to use this on AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Cricket, Metro, and so on. Now, currently this is on sale for 500 bucks. I think is what Motorola usually does is they launch a new phone at a cheaper price and then raise it later on. But I'll leave a link in the description of the video with current pricing and more information. And this has a 6.8 inch Max Vision display, 144 hertz refresh rate. You're not gonna be able to get too much higher than that on a cell phone as of today. And a 5000 milliamp hour battery. So they're advertising 2 days battery life with this one. With 30-watt charging, it fills up 9 hours of power in just 10 minutes. You're gonna get 5G speeds plus Wi-Fi 6E. It's got a Snapdragon 778G processor and is IP52 water repellent. You've got a plastic back. Wow, that is super shiny. You've got more of a matte finish around the edges, super glossy on the back. Fingerprint scanner right there on the power button, then your volume rocker right above that. USB-C charging port, speaker, and your SIM card or micro SD card tray there on the bottom. So the bezels aren't quite the same all the way around. You get a little bit extra there at the top and then a little bit bigger chin there at the bottom. I definitely like the fingerprint scanners on the Motorola devices here recently. Okay, pretty nice wallpaper on here. It's a little on the busy side, but definitely looks nice and sharp. Now, for those of you that were hoping this phone would just lay flat on a table, yeah, this isn't gonna be that phone. It's only using about 9% of the 256 gigabyte storage so far. Definitely nice to have that much storage. Now, if you don't like gesture navigation, it still lets you go back to the 3-button navigation. This is on Android 11, July 1st, 2021 security patch. Swipe over to the left, you're gonna get the Google News feed. Nice thing is they don't put a lot of pre-installed apps on here. It's still downloading some of the Google apps. Nice thing is it lets you uninstall some of the apps that I'm probably not gonna be using. Pretty simple notification shade here. You've got hotspot, mobile data, Bluetooth, airplane mode, do not disturb, flashlight, auto rotate, system update, battery saver, nearby share, night light, screencast, screen recorder, NFC, share feedback, and GIF maker. Now they've got something called Ready For, where you can connect the phone to a display or a PC. Now, if you're not familiar with Motorola phones, they've got a lot of tips and tricks right here on the home screen. Looks like you're gonna get up to 21p resolution on YouTube, and you're gonna get full HD playback resolution on Netflix. I gotta say, the screen on here definitely feels nice and snappy. Unfortunately, you only get one speaker on the bottom. You don't get one up by the earpiece. Let's go ahead and do a quick sample just so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. Okay, so I feel like the speaker on here could definitely be louder. I'm sure it'll be fine for most people, but in my opinion, yeah, they should have made that a little bit louder, especially since you just have the one at the bottom. This is gonna be a really simple camera app here. You've got video or photo. You can choose between macro, 0.5x zoom, or 1x zoom. You can also choose macro for video or 1x zoom. Now, if you go all the way to the right, they sort of keep all the extras in one location. You've got portrait, cutout, spot color, night vision, cinemagraph, panorama, group selfie, ultra res 108 megapixel, live filter, Pro mode, scan, dual capture. Then in video you've got slow motion, time lapse, spot color, and dual capture. So I think they have just about everything covered. Now on the rear camera on this phone, you've got a 12 megapixel or 8 megapixel, and it'll do up to 108 megapixel. I don't know, that's gonna be a huge file. We're definitely gonna have to try that out. On the front facing camera, you've got a 32 megapixel or 8 megapixel. You can do 4K 30 frames per second for video. If you want to do 60 frames per second, you got to go down to full HD. When it comes to the 108 megapixel one, yeah, that actually looks really good. And it didn't take long to process, so that's a good sign. So now I'll show you a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea from the Motorola Edge 2021. As far as photo quality goes on the cameras with this phone, I actually think it does really good. Maybe not quite as good as some flagship phones out there. Now, as long as you have decent lighting when taking photos with this, I think most people are gonna be happy with the results you get on this phone. Is it as good as the new Pixel 5a with 5G? I don't know if it's quite on that level in certain areas, but as long as the lighting is good, yeah, you're gonna get really good photos with this. You're also gonna get pretty good results with video, even though you have 4K resolution on the back and the front cameras. For whatever reason, it just looks better on the rear facing camera. Now, Geekbench scores on here are actually pretty decent, just a little bit less than the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra from last year on single core scores, not quite as good on multi-core scores. It's actually closer to the Poco Phone F1. But just as far as moving around the software, everything feels pretty nice and smooth. Really doesn't feel like there's much lag at all. When it comes to gaming, you get HD graphics, high frame rates on PUBG Mobile. Everything looks nice and clear. Graphics on the games load pretty quick as well. This isn't going to be the highest end phone for gaming, but just for my testing on PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9, I feel it could handle pretty much everything that I would use when gaming. I feel like even though you don't get wireless charging with this phone, the 30-watt fast charging definitely helps. And overall, this just feels like a nice quality phone. I'm probably gonna have to do a couple comparisons to see how it measures up to some of the competition. But from what I've seen so far, I definitely like the direction Motorola is going in. I just hope they can keep up with software updates. That's where it's really going to be hard to beat others like the Pixel 5a 5G. One thing that I am wondering, since they're still calling this the Motorola Edge, but it doesn't have the curved edge, should they have named it something else? I don't know. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.